Finds, aka Glenn. I'm Glenn, and this round I wanted to talk about my new metal detector. This is the tracker, bounty hunter tracker back here. Let me move this out of the way. Right here. Okay, I've only used it twice now. I did a little test with it and everything, and so far I've been really happy with it. And the fact I'm trying this new break-even quest that I just started, just a few days ago. And what it is I'm going to see if I can break even with this thing by paying it off. Basically, it cost me $70.35, and I'm pretty certain that I can do it. It may have taken me a little bit longer with the Fisher 1225X and that Nokta Makro that I have, but this one actually has some pretty good features compared to some of the more expensive stuff. So I just kind of want to talk about some of the things that I picked up in that short amount of time I've had this thing. Okay, let me have a little something while I'm here. All right, so let me go ahead and grab some other detectors that I have here, so I can give you a little comparison. Because a lot of times I get asked, I'm getting started metal detecting. What metal detector should I start out with? And I can only tell you what I've got. I'll pull out 3 of them. I got a 4th one, but it's in my pickup truck. It's the Radio Shack one that I had for several years now. All right, so let me go grab these other metal detectors, and we'll just walk through these metal detectors and some of the features that I like about them, and then talk specifically of the bounty hunter. And if you were getting started metal detecting, that's probably one that you want to go with. Okay, so let me go grab the other one over here. Okay, so bear with me as I grab it. Okay, then we could talk some other stuff as well. So, okay, and let's see. Okay, hi, how's everyone doing? Okay, so I've got several metal detectors here. I want to just kind of gloss over them and then talk more about the newest one that I got, which is the Bounty Hunter Tracker 4. Okay, but I do need to get something else over here just so I can call it out when we get to it. Okay, so some folks have been asking how long you've been metal detecting. Off and on for about 40 years. Okay, so off and on, meaning there's some runs that I get where I'll do it every day. There's other times where I get sidetracked with a day job. But for the most part, yeah, I've been doing it for a while. Okay, this was my first metal detector. This is the Fisher 1225X. Okay, straight analog. You got a sensitivity. You've got a discrimination. You have headphones and a pinpointer right there. There's a pinpointer right here. Okay, that's built in. And for the longest time, I would detect without a separate handheld pinpointer. I would just go ahead and start detecting. I would get a hit. I'd bend down, go dig it up. Oh, I lost it. I'd stand back up and start trying to find it again. And then some old schoolers said, hey, you need to go get a pinpointer. And back then, Garrett was the deal to get, so I ended up getting one of those Garrett Pro pointers. I'll show you that right now. Okay, but I did get a cheaper version, a Japanese or a Chinese knockoff, and it's got some quirks to it, but bottom line, I have used both of them and they work really well. Okay, right there. Okay. Definitely have to have one of these if you're going to get started metal detecting. Okay. And then when you're joining, I'm watching the chat here. So if you do have any things you want to call out as I'm going through this, certainly do. But I am going to focus more on the newest detector that I have, which is the Bounty Hunter Tracker 4. Okay. But this was the first one I had, Fisher 1225X. Hunted it for about a good 10 years before I went and got that Radio Shack one. And that was more of a backup one over the years. But bottom line, what I was looking for in this was waterproof. It's a solid one. Sensitivity, discrimination, got a headphone jack, and a pinpointer. Okay. Paid basically $300 for this thing. Paid for it in about 10 years in clad coins. But I did find rings. People paid me for finding their keys. Got a case of beer one time when I found someone's keys. And just over the course of that period, I would say I easily paid this thing off. Okay. And it's been a fun hobby. I call it a hobby because it is, and it's very addictive. You'll pick up a lot of trash. The pull tabs and pieces of aluminum foil and whatnot, or aluminum cans will be what you'll be digging up. But every once in a while, you do find something. It only takes one to just get you hooked and keep going. And bottom line, just keep going. Okay. But it's much heavier. It's the heavy aluminum. I got this from Calico way back when, 1986. Okay. And you definitely feel it. One thing that I do call out, when I had that little Radio Shack metal detector, the one that I keep in my pickup for those emergency need to stop and metal detect, it does not have an armrest. It's more of just a handle, and it just wears your wrist out. So if you are looking to get started in the detecting hobby, make sure you have one that has an armrest, okay? Because it'll make a big difference, okay? And at a bare minimum, you want sensitivity, you want discrimination. Why? Because you want to be able to notch out different sounds, different targets, nickels, dimes, pennies, all sound different, quarters, the little pull tabs and whatnot, and little pieces of foil. So you kind of use your discrimination to kind of tweak it. And I've got a video on showing how I did that with both the Fisher as well as the Nokta Makro Simplex Plus, as well as the Bounty Hunter. Okay. All right. This one does have pinpoint. The Bounty Hunter Tracker 4 does not, but I use a handheld pinpointer anyway, so that seems to work well for me. This one has headphones, but it does not have a volume control. And so I have headphones that have, let me go grab them. I have headphones that have a volume control on the ears, or the little muffs or whatever. Okay. Right here. Okay. So right there, you got headphones. Okay. I don't use them that much anymore, but when I was heavily into it, I did use them because, one, it would reduce the battery. Or increase the battery life versus just using the speaker off the metal detector. And then the other thing, hint, is when you have it on and you're detecting, and during the day, you get a lot of folks or kids asking you what you're doing, you can just kind of point and go, I can't hear you. What are you talking about? And they usually leave you alone. All right. But I have since not used the headphones, mainly because wait a minute. Oh, shoot. Bear with me. I got to switch this. Okay. All right. I'm back on. Can you hear me? Okay. Can you hear me? All right. Okay. We're live again. All right. Sorry. It looks like I needed to get this thing charged again. Luckily I got 2 of these deals, so that gives me some backup. Let me go plug this one in though. All right. But bottom line, when you are starting out metal detecting and you're not sure, I'll just kind of walk you through what my metal detecting journey was. Okay. When I go, I get kicked out of places. Okay. Well, that's not good. Depending on where you go, I normally go to public parks. I make sure that the local ordinances say it's okay. And bottom line, I go early morning, or I go in the evening when no one's there. I've gone as soon as the park opens, 5 a.m. I'm there. In fact, I'm going to be hitting a city park tomorrow with the Bounty Hunter Tracker 4, and I'll probably be the only one there in the morning. Okay. Okay. So walking you through my metal detecting hobby of 40 years of being the hobbyist at this, I started out with a Fisher 1225X. It had the bare minimum that I would consider you need for a hobbyist metal detector. Detectorist is sensitivity and discrimination. The headphones, you definitely want to have that just because you can tweak some of the signals. And with that headphone, you can pick up some of those faint signals. The pinpointer's nice, but I do have a handheld pinpointer, okay? But I used this for many years before I switched off. It's very loud. There's no volume control on this, and so that's where I would rely heavily on these headphones that have the volume control on it itself. And in fact, the ones that I have volume control for each ear, so I could actually tweak one higher or lower depending on how I was detecting. Okay, and in fact, I put some tape on over here just to cover this because I used to detect in some dusty, sandy areas, especially on the beach. Okay, and this one did well for me. I had this for basically 36 years before I went and got or 37 years before I got the Nokta Makro Simplex Plus. Okay. And in between all that was that Radio Shack metal detector. Again, I don't have it on me. It's in the pickup truck. But that one's more of just a backup detector that it's one that you don't have to have motion. It just continually has this buzzing sound. It's very annoying. But I have found a dime most recently. You can see one of my videos most recently on that. Okay. But this is a lot heavier than the stuff that I have now. It uses two 9-volt batteries. I took them out because I'm pretty much retiring this one. This was a gold finder. It could find rings, etc. It was very solid at that. Silver was very good at this one as well. And I was very happy with it. Very happy with it. But again, you get the metal detecting bug. You want to go and, up your game and try something new. And this was analog, so no bells and whistles, no LCD, nothing. But it did well, okay? And the key takeaway from this was, yes, I spent $300, but I'll get to it. With the most recent detector, the Bounty Hunter Tracker 4, I probably could have got away with getting that, okay? And that one I only paid $70.35 for. $70 in a gift card. So for 35 cents out of my pocket, the other one was a gift. So technically I'm close to already paying that off because I did find a dime most recently with it. But hey, we're going to go with the $70.35 deal in this new break-even quest deal that I'm going through. All right. But again, Fisher 1225X, tried and true, very good, still works today. I still got the ear for the different sounds that it makes. And then also there's certain settings that I know are key takeaways. 5, 6, 5.5, kind of tweak it in there. That's going to be key to keep it in the nickel pull tab area so that I'm still picking up rings and whatnot. The sensitivity, usually there's some power lines or some other interference. I'd have to tweak that, and usually you'll just get this clicky or a constant staticky sound. So I would adjust the sensitivity, and that's mainly why I would say at a bare minimum, you want something that has sensitivity and discrimination control. And in fact, even that Radio Shack metal detector that I have has at a minimum discrimination and that sensitivity piece. When hunting in high session, do you prefer to go back to your sensor or manually adjust your ground balance? Okay, so what's so great about this, the Fisher 1225, it's all or nothing. It just does what it's going to do. Luckily, believe it's the frequency and whatnot it's had. I've been able to work this in black sand, working the beaches when I used to live in California, and had no issues when it came to that. I do have ground millerization adjustments that I can on the Nokta Makro Simplex Plus, but as it turns out here, where I'm in North Texas, really don't have that issue. So I've been just keeping everything at the 90, but I do like the ability to be able to adjust. In the case of sensitivity, I have had to do that a couple of times with this baby, work in an area where I was getting a lot of staticky. you know, interference, but I think it was mainly the power lines versus the ground causing it, because I was in an area with a lot of power lines and whatnot. But so, answer to your question, on this one, I don't have any choice. It's already built in. In the case of the Nokta Makro Simplex Plus, I looked at another YouTube creator that was going over some tips with it, and it said that if you do have ground mineralization that's above like the 50% level or below the 50% level, then it's best to go ahead and set your ground mineralization. Other than that, you can just let it go. And in the case of the Nokta, I just keep it maxed out at the 90. Okay. All right. And so in my metal detecting journey, this was my first metal detector. And in there, I had like $20 or something. And I decided to go ahead and pick up that Radio Shack one. Oh, appreciate the gift. Thank you. That was very nice of you, Daniel Roberson. Appreciate it. High five. All right. The detractor in this is it's heavy compared to this stuff that I have now. Okay. But again, I would highly suggest that you have that armrest. That Radio Shack one that has no armrest is very tough on the wrist. Okay. So picture if you did not have this armrest to back you up and carry the weight of this, it's all going to be in your wrist now without that armrest, and it's pretty tough. My workaround in the case of that Radio Shack metal detector is I just kind of lock my arms and I just kind of walk and swing my body. Okay, and in that case, that metal detector does not require movement. It's always on. There's always this. It's annoying, this buzzing noise. But I find that I can just kind of walk slowly and swing the coil and just kind of lock my arm next to me and just use my body to search the area. Okay, and that last video I did with that metal detector is one that you want to take a look at, and that method I used. Okay. It was a fairly cheap metal detector. I think I got it for under $20 way back when Radio Shack was still in business. And I got it on a whim, and I just keep it in my pickup truck. We hit 105 degrees the other day here in Texas, and I keep it in my pickup, and that thing just cranks up no problem. It's straight analog, no LCD stuff to burn out. Batteries are just some AA batteries, so just flip them and switch them out and whatnot. But I can keep it there year round. Cold, heat, it still keeps ticking. All right. But I want to focus more on the detectors I have now. Okay, so Fisher 1225X, my first metal detector. At a minimum, what I strongly suggest, if you're going to get started, make sure it has that sensitivity, make sure it has that discrimination. Okay. And make sure it has that armrest. Okay. Pinpointer, it was nice having this pinpointer, but you know, learning from some of the old schoolers, they said, get you a pinpointer, a handheld pinpointer. So ever since then, I don't even worry about the pinpointer here. I just need to get the general area, kind of X mark the spot, and then I use the pro pointer or pinpointer. Okay. All right. Next detector I want to talk about is the one that I finally bought about 30 plus years, 37 years later after the Fisher. Okay. And that one I got on a whim, and I've been very happy with it. It's the Nokta Makro Simplex Plus. Okay. Actually can go underwater 30 some odd feet. It has a vibration handle. So if you were out, you know, scuba diving or whatnot, you could do so and feel the the target as you get close to it, okay, or as you get over it. And you can see it's very compact. I can pop this baby, and adjust this very quickly. Normally when I'm storing it in the pickup truck, getting ready to go and do stuff, I'll keep it at this short level, but I'll quickly just pop this baby, let it drop right here, let it drop. I'll put my foot on it and just kind of adjust so I have it at the arm length that I want, and then I'll lock it in place right here, and I'm ready to rock. Okay. Very happy with this one. It's got has some software built in to cover different park beach, all metal. I think like relic and curio hunting or whatnot. It has volume control. It has a little light built in. It's got that vibration capability. It has some adjustments that I can make so I can minimize the interference with the pinpointer so the frequencies don't interfere with each other. It's waterproof up to about 30 feet. You just got to make sure that these covers are in place. Okay. I haven't taken it underwater. I have taken it in the rain and not sweated anything because I knew it was waterproof, and I've been very happy with it. One change that I did was I went from the double D elliptical that came with it, much bigger coil, and I went with the coin sniping coil, the Nokta Makro SP24. Okay, this one allows me to get up close and personal to the sidewalk, to metal poles. I can get really close to it and still be able to detect stuff. This one I used for at least 2 years, and then just this year I went ahead and switched over to this one. But I still have this one ready to go in case I want to cover some large areas and whatnot. All right. Also, this one is rechargeable. Okay. I usually let it, crank it up to 5, or I charge it up to 5 bars, and then when it gets down to about 2, then I'll just go ahead and charge it up again, and I'm good to go. Get about 6 to 8 hours between charges or recharges, and been extremely happy with it because I don't sweat any batteries anymore with this. Okay. Other things, it's got a light LCD display. When I'm detecting at night, what's really nice is a lot of times when I'm detecting at night, I have my light over here at my belt, and I'm really not looking at the detector. I'm actually just kind of looking at the ground or ahead, looking for some potential targets or my path, and just making sure I'm covering the area like I should, making sure I have those overlapping coil sweeps. Okay. But what's nice about this is when it gets a return on a target, the light on the LCD just flash or turns on. You'll see it. You'll be swinging away. It'll be dark, and then it'll just flash on you or turn on, and you'll look down, and it's like, oh yeah, I got a target. And you can look at the target ID, kind of get a sense for what it is, and you can start looking for stuff and all that. Okay. The Bounty Hunter Tracker 4 does not have a light. It's old school, but new school too. I'll get to that. Anyways, so I've been very happy with this. You get a lot of stuff for your money for this one. $259 is what I paid for. I don't know what it is now. I think, in fact, it may be hard to get this one now. You might have to go to the Nokta Makro. I think it's Ultra, as well as Light. I think there's some other variations of this now, but I've been very happy with this one. In fact, the main thing I've been doing is I've been checking to see how long the battery will last. Okay. So I've been just maintaining a spreadsheet on how many hours I have put on the batteries here. And right now I put about 100, I think 120 plus hours, had multiple charge, recharge, etc. And it's still ticking. So at some point, I think I have to send it back to Nokta for them to switch out the battery. But right now I've been, just cranking away, no issues at all. So that has been very, very helpful. All right. Let's see. Chip 1020. Howdy, Chip 1020. All right, cool. So that is the next detector that I used. And now that I've gotten this one earlier this week, it's going to be a tough decision. Do I go back and forth? What do I do? I'm not sure. Well, I'm sticking to this new break-even quest, and I am keeping 3 different trackers now on what I found with this one versus what I found with that little Radio Shack one, as well as this one right here. I do have something for this one, the Fisher, but I'm probably going to retire that one. That's it's a nice one, but I think it's time to move on to the 21st century here. All right, so let's get to the tracker. Okay, tracker, Bounty Hunter Tracker 4. I heard a lot of good things about it, and because I was like, hey, if I was gonna stand or start up detecting again, and when I first started detecting, yeah, I paid $300 for that first metal detector. back in 1986, but I saved up like I think half a year to finally get that, and I ended up purchasing at that point. And $300 to me back then was something, but I was already hooked because, well, I like this. What brand is a good one? Well, right now I can only tell you what I've gotten. I believe any of the Fishers would be good. Any of the Garretts would be good. In the case of the Nokta Makro, I think any of those would be good. It's just going to be based on your budget. And then when it comes to the features that you're looking for, it's really having that sensitivity and discrimination feature. Those are going to be really key. And when I got this one, this the Bounty Hunter Tracker 4, I was thinking, oh, this is like another one of those little kid detectors, and it's not going to be able to. I'm going to spend more time picking up pull tabs. I can't distinguish between this and that. But then I looked online, I looked at some reviews, and then I also saw some other folks that picked up one of these and heard some good things. And then what really grabbed me on this one was this little toggle switch right here. Okay. Why? Because let's go back to the Fisher 1225X and some of the things I learned doing this over 40 years, okay? Right here, what I would do is, because I don't have a depth meter, and I find that having the depth indicator, it really doesn't matter. It's all based on the size of the target, so it could be saying it's deep, it could be saying it's shallow. It's the size of the target. So if you got a smaller target or whatever it's calibrated to, it's just going to tell you an estimate. Okay, you got to go by sound more, and then also size as you're searching the area. You can sense that, oh, this is bigger than a coin, or this could be a larger target just by hearing the sound. Okay, so key thing is just learn your detector. You go with something like I did here, where I only was limited to what I had. There was no indicator as a target ID, no depth meter or whatnot. But you find some workarounds. In the case of the depth, very simple one is I would find the target, okay, and then I would lift up my coil till I couldn't get the target, and then I'd start bringing it back down. And once I started getting a return again, I'd kind of look down and get a guesstimate. Oh, that's about 2, 3, 4, 6 inches down. Okay, that was my workaround, and that worked for 30 plus years with this baby. All right, so the key thing is right here. Oh, right here, I would set the discrimination between 5 and 6, usually 5.5, and I could get pretty much rings, nickels. I'd still get some pull tabs. I'd still have some issues there because the pull tab and the nickel are pretty close in sound as well as discrimination. But my workaround was, if I was getting tired, or if I was trying to, well, determine, hey, is this really something good, or should I move on? Is it a nickel, a pull tab, or maybe a better coin? I don't know. I don't have time. I'm in a hurry. I need to keep going. My workaround was I would just take my thumb and I would just flip the discrimination. I'd flip this discrimination from 5.5 up to 8 or 9. And if I still had that strong return, I knew it was going to be a better target. Okay. That was my workaround. It was my thumb just flipping the discrimination and then tweaking it back again to where I first started. 5.5. If I was really in a non-trashy or really going for stuff, I drop it down to 5. Okay. Never really worked this one in all metal mode. I just, you already have all metal mode when you go to the pinpointer. So why mess with it? Okay. All right. So what got me hooked on the Bounty Hunter Tracker 4 was this. Okay, it's called discrimination right here, and also tone, as well as all metal. This little toggle right here. And so what happens is you can set the discrimination, and what I've learned so far is you put it to 11 o'clock position, and you put sensitivity at the 3 o'clock, and that'll get you usually the nickels and pull tab. Okay, if you stay in the discrimination mode, that tone stays the same. Nickel, pull tab, whatever, it's still going to stay the same. Okay, you go to all metal mode, it's going to pick it up regardless what your discrimination is. Okay, and it's just going to come in loud. Okay, but you pop it over to tone. If it's a pull tab, it's going to it's going to set that discrimination. It's going to recognize you set discrimination for it, and it's going to come in with this a crackly noise or a staticky noise. But if it's a nickel, it's gonna still have that high tone. And right there, that kind of convinced me, hey, wait a minute, I don't have to do that little tweak with my thumb anymore to adjust the discrimination. Plus, I can listen with that tone mode. All right. And when I'm in a really big hurry, is I'll just leave it in tone mode and just forget everything else and just listen for those high tones with the tone. Okay. But what I do like is I do like searching in all metal because I want to hear everything. I want to pick up the iron. I want to pick up the nails. I want to get everything. And then I'll decide if I really want to dig it or not. Okay. Because guess what? I have found bracelets. I have found necklaces, those stainless steel ones, and they come in at that low numbers, especially on the Nokta. Nokta, it comes in a low 4 target ID. All right. Let's see. Gary Duncan. Howdy, howdy. Hi, Gary Duncan. Appreciate you joining today. All right. Just talking metal detecting. In particular, we're talking more on this Bounty Hunter Tracker 4. This is our newest detector. And this is the one that I'm going to be hopefully breaking even on, finding a few coins and whatnot. Okay. So if you're going to get started metal detecting, and me personally, I can only tell you what I know about what I got. I've got only 4 metal detectors, so I'm not an expert. I haven't done a whole bunch of research and technical analysis and whatnot, but I'll just tell you what worked for me, okay? The Fisher 1225X, yeah, it was $300. It's heavy, it's old school, it's analog. I had to use my thumb to basically kind of notch out different things, but it did have that discrimination mode. It did have that sensitivity, but it was $300. I paid for it after about 10 years, but it's heavy and it's $300. And I think the newest ones now are about $300 to $400 to $500 now. And now they have LCD and all these other bells and whistles. So if my budget allowed, and I had to do it again, and I would go with the Nokta Makro Simple X Plus because it's got so many different bells and whistles, and I got it for actually $259.99. Yeah, okay, I added the coin sniping coil for another $100. But bottom line, that is a very powerful machine that has a whole bunch of stuff that didn't have with that Fisher 1225X, to include the target ID. That target ID is what I really liked about it, because it was telling me 4s is that irony stuff, 50s, 47 is the rings, but it could be other stuff. 50s could be silver, but it could be that other stuff. 60s a penny, 70s a dime, 90, 91 is a quarter, 95 up could be a bottle cap. Could be some large piece of metal and whatnot. Very, very powerful. I really like it, but I just wanted to kind of take the mindset of, hey, if I was really starting out and I was low on funds, but I was just really interested in getting started metal detecting, what machine would I get? Knowing that, hey, worst case scenario, or the worst case scenario is you buy a machine $3,000-$4,000 and it sits and gathers dust because you lost interest. Well, for this one, I only dropped less than $100, $70.35. And if I lose interest, I'll just stick it in the corner and not really worry about it. Okay, but I haven't lost interest. And what I say about this one is, it has the sensitivity, it has the discrimination, it's straight analog, gives you a low battery indicator. It's fairly lightweight, has that armrest that I like. And then most importantly, it has that tone discrimination and all metal mode toggle switch. This one has been very nice. I've gone out a couple of times now. This last live stream I did where I'm out there with this machine, you're seeing how I'm using this, where I'm just kind of toggling back and forth. And yeah, so far I found a dime and a butterfly something. Let me grab it here. Let's see. This has only been 2 hunts now. Tomorrow I'll hunt exclusively with the Bounty Tracker 4. I'm just going to bring that, and I'll have my backup Radio Shack metal detector just in case. But that's what I found so far. Let me show you. Okay, this was my first find with the Bounty Hunter. It looks like a little key ring clasp thing that broke. Okay, all right, came in at the high tone. The next thing I found was this butterfly charm right here. It looks like it's a little charm that you can put on a bracelet or something. I see that. Okay, and I found that last night. And then I found my first dime with the Bounty Hunter Tracker 4. Okay, right there. Okay, and I was using that tone toggle feature. Okay, so someone asked me, I'll straight up tell you. If you want to get started metal detecting, you wanted to start out with, and you're not sure how into it you're going to get to, I would tell you right off the bat, get you the Bounty Hunter Tracker 4. All right. I spent $300 to get my first metal detector. I played around with another $20 to get that Radio Shack metal detector. Years later, decades later, I got the Nokta Makro Simplex Plus. I'm very, very stoked having it. But eventually I'm gonna have to do something with that battery that's built in and have to turn it in and whatnot. I did add the SB24 coin sniping coil to it, so there I am. I'm bumping up the cost of that one. But hey, I got the metal detecting hobbyist bug. But right there, that Nokta or that Bounty Hunter has been a pleasant surprise. So what I would say is stay tuned. Join me on this journey. I call it the new break-even quest, where I'm going to see if I can pay for that Bounty Hunter Tracker 4. There's a couple of videos I already have out there concerning it, and then probably tomorrow in the morning I'll be out there with that Tracker 4, trying to see if I can break even with it. And each time I've gone out so far, I've learned something new. The toggle switching piece was new. Adjusting the discrimination and hearing the difference between a nickel versus a pull tab versus other targets has been new. I did pick up a target that was about easily a foot deep, fairly large piece of metal. I left it there because, well, it was a public park and I didn't want to pull out, dig around it and pull this huge metal thing. I don't know what it was. And then I do like that it does have some built-in circuitry where it does notch out some of that iron and whatnot. But I was still picking up nails, wire and whatnot in all metal mode. But then again, if I was in a hurry, I could just toggle the switch and make that adjustment and know that, hey, that's most likely going to be some trash. I'm going to skip it. Okay. But when I'm first learning a metal detector, I pretty much dig everything just so I can learn the machine. And then eventually, if I'm short on time, or eventually when I'm very comfortable with that machine, from both the sound as well as the settings, then I'll be more likely to skip a target, knowing that it's probably going to be trash. All right. Okay. So hopefully that was helpful. If you guys are able to make it, I'm going to hit the road early in the morning, go up to a small town up north of me that has a city park that I hunted about 5 years ago. And I have not been there since, and I'm pretty certain no one else has been there. And I'm going to see what this Tracker 4 can do in the field, and we'll be doing it live. All right. All for now. Next time we'll catch you later, and happy hunting.